Thursday? Yes, it's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome. I'm Sarah, and this is a place for people who are deconstructing, who are questioning their faith. If you are watching this back, like on the replay, basically what I do is just kind of chat with people through the comments, and so I answer questions. People kind of chat with each other, and I think when you're watching this back, the comments take like 24 hours to show up, I think, or there's a button that you can press. But there should be a way that you can see the comments, and that'll make watching it make more sense and be more enjoyable. Hello, John. I hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Hey, TK, good to see you. I've got Ruby on the couch with me here tonight. Hi, Shadow. Hello, Cindy. Good to see you. Hey, Prestige. Hello, Flock. Well, for anyone who is new, hi, I'm Sarah. Oh, I hope your week gets better, John. Hi, Horace. Hey, Seal. Well, TK, I picked the topic of morality for tonight. But also, you know, we tend to kind of talk about whatever. Hello, Trinket. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's really nice to feel like, oh, good, like all the friends are here. Oh, from Korea. Well, hi. Ruby says hello too. You need more pets, Miss Ruby. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. John says, one big change in my morality after becoming an atheist is I started caring about the homeless more. Do you mean like you became more empathetic? Oh, yay. Mikey says, hyped that you're reviewing Mere Christianity. It was recommended to me, but I never found it impressive. Yeah, and you know, when I was a Christian, I found the arguments compelling. And I think it's like, for me personally, such a powerful example of confirmation bias. Like when I already believed those things, then I thought they were good arguments. But I feel really differently about them now. Oh, my dog's name is Ruby. What causes you to leave Christianity? So I stopped believing that it was true. I do also have a frequently asked questions playlist if you want kind of more detail. Yeah, I like that, John. So, Joseph, the thing about this idea of objective morality, while it sounds nice to have like a rule book to compare your morals to, the Bible doesn't do that for you. Thanks, Collapse. I appreciate the super chat. Since being an atheist, have people said, you seem so nice for an atheist or anything weird? On the internet, yes. I get that all the time, actually. People are like, oh, wow, you're nice for an atheist. I'm like, lots of us are nice. So yeah, I do hear that. Okay. So now the chat is on subscriber only mode. And just as a reminder, subscriber only means follower. It doesn't mean like paying any money. So I wish it said follower only mode. Collapse says, wait, I mean Dr. Bunny Money. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, really, Dr. Joe? Like, because you look like highlighted blue and you have like a little star and a little shield on my end. That's weird. No, I haven't watched Heated Rivalry. I know everyone else has watched it. I should, but I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, Sammy, I love that your dog is Ruby too. Oh, thanks, Dr. Camino. Thank you for the super chat for Bunny Treats. So if objective morality was true, how would it look like? So you can define this different ways. Usually when Christians are talking about objective morality, they are wanting like sort of moral law to exist in the same way that like gravity exists. But there's no evidence of that. And so I don't even know how you would prove that or what that would look like. Are bunny treats similar to cat and dog treats? So for bunny treats, honestly, I just give them vegetables. Oh, that's weird, Spark. You can't moderate either. I have no idea why. I don't know. Because again, it looks to me like you can. So would a person's morality be an expression of free will? I'm not sure how to answer that. Because I don't know, maybe I don't totally understand what you're asking or what you mean. No, I don't give them chocolate bunnies. Okay, I'll see you in a sec, friends. Is it scary that there are no objective morality, only subjective? No, I mean, I think when Christians ask me, like, oh, well, if it's just subjective, then anything goes and it's just your opinion. But that's not what subjective morality means. Subjective just means that it is something that is formed in a mind and it doesn't exist outside of your mind. But you can still have a strong moral code. Like subjective morality doesn't mean do whatever you want. Welcome back. Do you think Jesus, Peter, Paul, and David were real people or made up? Probably real, or maybe like a mythologized version of something real or someone real. That's so weird, Dr. Joe. I don't know why. Let me click on your... No, like it looks like on my end, even when I like click on your settings, it says you're a moderator. Weird. Hi, Oceanus. Do you believe in moral facts? So like, give me an example, Joseph, of one. Dr. Camino, I'm trying to figure out what that is an icon of. Hi, did I wake you? I'm sorry, my dear. Ruby is irritated that I'm not petting her. Oh, spam. Yeah, I'm glad Charles is able to moderate. Although so far it's a pretty small, chill live, so maybe it'll be all right. Do you believe in dragons? I don't believe in flying dragons. I mean, there's the Komodo dragon. Yay, Charles! Is the calendar based on Jesus's timeline? So almost, sort of. It's the, what is it? It's the Gregorian calendar. I mean, the calendar that we're currently using is because it was popular for a while. Then no, Webb, I don't believe in that kind of dragon. The trans says, many parts of the Bible talk about how it's okay to sell people like objects. My morals revolve around how a situation would make me feel. I wouldn't want to be sold like an object. Yeah, you have empathy. Oh, Pickin, was that Justin at Deconstruction Zone? I know he uses that reference a lot. Yeah. Hi, Acidic. You know, Eric, I really don't know. I don't know much about, yeah, the calendar or how it was developed. My view on Satan. Well, I mean, so I don't think Satan exists. I don't think that there is a devil. And it's an interesting character in the Bible. Christians often tie multiple different stories together and called it all Satan, or all one thing, when it actually might not be. Yeah, thanks, Charles. So I'm doing a series with Justin from Deconstruction Zone, going through each of the chapters of the Bible. And so you can watch it here on YouTube, or we're also on Spotify and Apple and iHeartRadio. So you can find our podcast there too. Can you explain the Trinity to me? Not sure if it's from your sect of Christianity, but the whole Trinity thing is so confusing. Yeah, I mean, it's the idea that God the Father and God the Son and God the Holy Spirit are all the same God, but like sort of in three forms or three parts. There are some sticky parts in the Gospels where it seems very evident that like Jesus is talking to God the Father or asking permission from God the Father, which would not make sense if they're all part of the same entity. But that is the belief. Possibilities. I'm sorry it's been so tough after leaving. Um, if if you're not already plugged in, I would definitely recommend the organization Recovering from Religion. Oh, yay, Spark. Yeah, it's on Spotify. Joseph says, I believe moral facts are about what we ought to do, what is good to do, and what is reasonable to do. But like, can you actually list a moral fact? Because it often is subjective to the situation. You know, like one particular action might be a good thing to do in one situation, and that same action might actually cause a lot of harm in another situation. Thanks, Bobby. VS says, so the Trinity is not claiming to be three parts, but three persons. I mean, really, that's tomato, tomato. It's supposed to still be all one God. Like Christians do not consider themselves to be polytheists, right? They still think it's all one God. Eric says, I count situational and subjective as different. I mean, it is a different way of using the word. So if we're using the word subjective to just mean like subject to your mind or your brain, but I guess it is also subject to your situation. So Joseph, if you think rape being immoral is a fact, the problem is that your God isn't all that clear about it. So I cannot imagine a situation in which rape would be ever good. I can't imagine it. Like I cannot think of a situation. And so to me, that is something that is always harmful. But, you know, if you are looking at the God of the Bible, God is not that clear cut on it. What do I think about the flying spaghetti monster? I mean, it's an okay metaphor or illustration, but it often, I think it misses the mark because it doesn't do what it's aiming to do. Because I think Christians find it too absurd or offensive, and so it often ends the conversation. Spirit Tony, I am thinking about leaving faith, but hard to let go of something I know and love. Yeah, I mean, give yourself a lot of time and a lot of compassion. You don't have to do anything that you're not ready for. Pickens says, you can make an objective case for why X act is better than Y for reducing harm or benefiting a thing we agree is good, but the core value at stake is a sacred subjectivity that most people share. Yeah, like once we agree on a definition of good, then we can create objective markers of that. But that agreement originally is subjective. So, VS, these words that you're saying don't have a lot of actual meaning. So, it says, no, the Father and the Son are different in personhood. They are not each other, but made of the same substance. What does that mean? What do you mean made of the same substance? And if they're not each other, then they're separate gods, then, right? Or do you view Jesus as a demigod? Oh, okay, Joseph. Hi. Chapel says, I wonder how many of us in these live streams and chats are still pastors or chaplains or clergy serving congregations with no freedom to leave due to financial reasons. Yeah, I have all the empathy in the world for people whose livelihood is dependent on your religious beliefs. It was hard enough for me to leave, and my finances were not dependent on it. If you're not familiar, I know there is an organization called the Clergy Project, and that is for, I think it's for people either who are still in a pastoral role but questioning, and or I think maybe people who don't believe anymore and are trying to figure out how to leave. So VS says they share in the same substance but are different in personhood. What would you say doesn't make sense about that? So how is that different from just being three different gods? Like, Ruby and I share the same substance in that we are made of atoms and we are made of carbons and hydrogens. So is that what you mean by substance? Like, what do you mean by same substance? And if they're different in personhood, does that mean they're different gods? Because you're just repeating the same words, but not actually defining any of the things that you're saying. Oh, we're glad you're here too, Jeff. So, Soggy, yeah, I have heard the water, ice, and vapor thing before. But it's not actually answering the question. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, gods are made of a substance? Are gods tactile things? Like, the metaphor is not very effective. Yeah, Sammy, proselytizing is like Captain says, trying to convert, like preaching and trying to get people to join your religion. What do you do with the loss of others or justice for a corrupt and violent and destructive world? Oh, Flock, thank you so much for sending or joining. Sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. For becoming a member, thank you. So as far as like the loss of others, it's kind of a mixed bag in that, when I was a Christian, I believed that some of my loved ones were going to end up in hell. And I don't believe that anymore. So that's helpful. Yeah, that's comforting. And as far as justice, Christianity does not fix that. So if someone does something terrible and they truly repent and ask God for forgiveness, and then all they've done is asked God for forgiveness and they die the next day, they get to go to heaven. There is no justice in that. Hey, Berkeley. Okay, Via says, like the three persons all are God because they all share the same divine substance. What does that mean? What is divine substance? Like that, I need more of an explanation there. But they are distinct characters of consciousness that relate to each other. So it sounds like you're describing three gods. Like, how are they not three separate gods? Yeah, TK says grandparents, parents, and children are all made of the same substance, but that doesn't make all three of them one entity. Yeah, I agree. Trinket says, my platonic partner regularly argues that lack of belief in an afterlife makes the mourning process healthier. It may hurt more to acknowledge that you'll never see them again, but it is better for you. Holy says, like, what's the point of this whole thing? Like, why do we exist and what's the point? Yeah. Why we exist, two people decided to make a baby. As far as like, what's the point or why do we continue to exist? I think it is incredible that we are alive and that we get to experience consciousness. And we are such amazing, evolved creatures that not only do we get to experience consciousness, but we get to experience love and connection. And to me, that is the point. Connecting with other people. I think that's the point. What if we are not having that incredible feeling? Is that just a downfall in outlook? So I guess Holy Spirit says, oh, I don't actually know how others deal with meaninglessness. So I don't find my life to be meaningless. I find a lot of meaning in my life. I find a lot of meaning, again, in connection and love. I also find meaning in growing and learning and building things and, I don't know, trying to make the world a little bit better. But I don't find it meaningless at all. Sammy, there probably are other Earth-like planets. Eric says, I find a lot of comfort in the idea that my organs have purpose because I'm alive. Creativity and art are our salvation. That's a hard vowels to say. I hope aliens are just like little blobby bunnies. Okay, that would be delightful. As a person who owns several bunnies, yes, that would be great. When was it that convinced you that morality is subjective and why? I guess, I mean, I don't have any explanation for how it could possibly be objective. Yeah, Holy says, yes, the Bible does give a delusional purpose, but sometimes it's important to find purpose in something. Otherwise, depression can get wicked intense. So, I mean, I agree that having a meaning and a purpose is really helpful. And also, you might be a very devout believer and still experience really intense depression. And, again, for me, I don't struggle to find purpose or meaning. Trinket says, I'm down with our new blobby bunny overlords. Hey, Yuri. Why are there recovery groups from Christianity? I can see how some abuse, but overall there's a lot of peace and hope as well. So, friend of Christ, the reason why we need each other afterwards is because for most people, when you stop believing in God, you essentially get kicked out of your community. For a lot of us, we weren't just kind of pretending, like our faith was our whole life. It was my social network, it was my purpose, it was how I spent my time. And so when you stop believing and you lose all of that, you really have to figure out who you are. Your whole world turns upside down, and your Christian friends often will not know how to be around you, or they'll stop being friends with you, and it's a really lonely, painful thing. And so that's why we need support. Holy Spirit says, Jesus didn't answer my prayers. I just needed something to cry to. Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah, John. So if your family is still Christian, they often start to look down on you, and that's also really lonely. Do I like TikTok or YouTube better? Generally, I would say TikTok, although YouTube is starting to grow on me more. Hi, Alex. Alex says, just curious, as a non believer, I never understood why Jesus' sacrifice was considered such since he resurrects anyway. What is he actually sacrificing? Human form? Yeah, it's interesting, Alex. I think part of that is how much Christians focus on um, how much pain he went through. I can't tell you how many times, even as a child, in church services, we really went through the details of what it would be like to be crucified and how much blood he would have lost and how much pain he would have been in, and the angle that he would have been put on the cross would actually lead to slow suffocation. Like, oh my gosh, I know so much detail about it. And so I think that's part of it, is like, well, he went through incredible pain for you. But yeah, I mean, the general Christian theology is that, yeah, he gave up his life, right? So he stopped being human, but he did resurrect, but then he went up to heaven. So he, left his human life. Steele, what do you mean? Like that comment is coming off pretty unkind. So, friend of Christ says, I'm sorry that happened to you. Even as a Christian, I will still love them. So, friend of Christ, it already becomes a problem if you put people into another category, like those people over there. Your Christian friends will often start treating you differently. So it wasn't that, like, my Christian friends didn't stop loving me. It wasn't that they stopped loving me, but it was that we couldn't have a conversation anymore without them trying to convert me back. Yeah, Jeff, certainly. I mean, the idea that Jesus was supposed to have suffered enormous pain, there are absolutely humans who have suffered significantly more. Hey, Six. Hi, Katie. Yeah. John's giving examples of things Christians or your friends and family would say to you. We want to see you in heaven. We'll pray for you. If I send you a video about someone's conversion, will you watch it? Yeah. I'm sorry, Acidic. Oh, nice. Hot cinnamon tea. This is, it's vanilla chai. Joseph says, so if morality is subjective, how could we blame others for their moral decisions? So again, morality being subjective doesn't mean people don't have morals. But if you want to participate in society, we have a common set of rules and expectations that you have to abide by if you want to be part of our society. Where's the bunny mug? In the cabinet. Holy says, so the supernatural world non-existent in your mind, like when people believe they are witches or they are casting out demons, are we all just a little nutty? So I don't believe in anything supernatural. That being said, I am absolutely open to the possibility that there are things about the world that I do not know and do not understand. So, like, is it possible that there is some other kind of force of nature that, with our human senses, I'm not able to detect or don't know anything about? Yeah, that's absolutely possible. And so, like, when someone says they have a supernatural experience, I'm not gonna tell them that they just made it up or something. it just depends. But I think a lot of times my thought is that there is some type of explanation for it, even if I don't know what it is. Seal, the comment that you made that only, like, the only people who are hurt by deconstruction are social dependents, like that's the comment that we're having an issue with. And so I'm not sure what you were trying to communicate, if you were trying to communicate something else. 666, thank you for sending a membership. I appreciate that. You're welcome, Alex. Stephen says, when we learn that the oppressive rules were from men and not from God, that is a painful adjustment. Thus, support groups. Well, so Pickens says, I think I get what seal means. If you have no social bonds, leaving faith probably is much easier. But I mean, that's an incredibly rare human to not need any social bonds at all. But also, some of the pain of deconstruction isn't even about social bonds. Like, a lot of us also experience pain from the loss in identity, from devoting our life to something that ends up being wrong. I don't think all of the pain of deconstruction is all social anyway. Okay, thanks, Seal. Seal says, that was my mistake. I should have said not all, but a good many people suffer socially when they deconstruct because they aren't attending church. Thank you. Yes, that does make much more sense. Oh, 6 says, watching Leaving Faith helps me stay steady and focused in my sobriety. Congratulations on your sobriety. That's amazing. How would you define evil? I mean, evil is, it's a word that humans made up, like I don't think that there is like a supernatural force of evil. I think it much more in terms of harm. So, humans are certainly capable of doing a lot of harm to each other. Rubes, where's your brush? We need to brush your tail. Yeah. You're looking a little tangled. Well, thanks, Prestige. Collapse. Want to say hi? Yeah, you're such a pretty girl. Such a pretty baby. You're such a good girl. I know, she's such a sweet baby. I need to brush your tail though, baby. You got some tangles. Couldn't we just define evil like unjustifiably and intentionally harmful? I mean, that seems like a decent definition. Thanks, Chris. Well, thanks, Kathleen. Ten says, being evil is just being against to what is considered good, but it is subjective. That's why we have endearing Marvel villains. Are you familiar with the teleological basis for morality? I think it's ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, John, it's all kind of hard to define. Um, I think we want morality to be like math, right? Like 1 + 1 is 2. That's a law. It's clear and set in stone. But as we all exist as humans, we know that morality is not like that. It's not 1 + 1 is 2. Um, we all see situations differently. We perceive things differently. We know that different situations call for different actions. Um, it's complex. Hi, Autumn. Thanks, Kathleen. I'm glad you're here. Yes, Rational says, are you and Justin dropping any ex-evangelical episodes? Yes, we are recording tomorrow. So hopefully we'll drop a new episode by tomorrow night. And for anyone who wants to catch up, I have all of our episodes up on the YouTube. There's a playlist, or you can listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and somewhere else. Thanks, Charles. How long ago did you start deconstructing? I deconstructed back in 2009, so it's been a while. Oh, well, no worry, King. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, that's interesting, Pickin. Holy asks, so do you believe in the law of oneness, like A Course in Miracles, Christ consciousness, karma? Do you just do practical thinking like brain science? I guess, what do you ground yourself in? Yeah, so I would say from a psychological perspective, I ground myself in empathy. I mean, that's kind of, trying to put myself in someone else's shoes and understand how my actions affect other people is a huge part of who I am and how I live my life. As far as like, my construction of reality, I would say it is very science-based. I like understanding scientifically how things work. And that helps me make sense of the world. Kathleen says, I still believe in God, but don't believe in the church. Yeah, that's fair. What's the topic tonight? We're talking about morality tonight. Street epistemology. No, I haven't watched that. Oh, really? Alicia says, do you know when your live was shut down the other day, a Christian live showed up in its place? Oh, that's so weird. feel like I'm going to jinx it if I talk about like my app not crashing. Is morality defined by what is social and antisocial behavior? I think more like laws and customs are defined that way. I think morality is really based on like harm and benefit. How do your actions affect someone else? Well, yeah, Spirit Tony, that is another issue with religion. Allowing people to put a kind of good face on, but getting away with bad things. Yeah. Oh, well, Kathleen, I'm glad it's a good place for you. Yeah, we try to be chill on here. Do you use morality and ethics distinctly or usually as synonyms? I think it's a bit pedantic unless it's in a particular context. Honestly, yeah, I use them as synonyms. Like, I get it if you're a philosopher, they are not synonyms. And occasionally I will have people in my comments, but yeah. Oh gosh, an epistemology podcast. That sounds stressful. Kathleen, do you want like more of us to come hang out at some point on your channel? I don't know what kind of content you do. Hmm. Kind says, I can't believe how many Christians believe calling someone a demon will win them to their God. Yeah, so as someone who gets called a demon quite a bit, at that point, I don't think they're trying to win me over. I think they're trying to separate themselves from me. Oh, hi, Witchy. Witchy says, I absolutely loved and found your video on Mere Christianity. Would you ever consider reviewing or give a hot take on screw tape letters? Ooh, yeah, I would. Man, screw tape letters was such a like powerful book, in a bad way. Like it was so kind of horrifying that like these demons could be trying to trip you up all the time. It was, yeah, I would definitely consider doing that one. Ugh. Well, Trinket, I'm really sorry that someone would call you a demon for that. That just sucks. Yeah, Captain, I have a video on Mere Christianity. I'm only through the first, it's like broken up into several books. So I'll do a couple more videos on it too. Calamus, thank you so much for the super chat. Calamus says, for the fur babies. Well, here, Ruby says thank you as she takes up most of the couch. Yeah, Dusk says, calling someone demonic is just the modern day version of accusing people of witchcraft. Right? I feel like the people who actually call me a demon would like to, put me in the water and see if I sink. Are those Nikes? Oh, no, they're not. Oh, Earthling, that's awful. Oh, I'm sorry for the journey. Yeah, Kathleen, sometimes people call me a demon. It's maybe like it's not super common, maybe like once a month or so. um, can I make a video comparing religious themes in Narnia versus Lord of the Rings? I mean, I could, although I don't know. I would have to go read Narnia again. But it's very similar, right? I mean, I know, I'm sure you know that like Lewis and Tolkien were friends. So I don't know if I would have anything profound to say about it. The updated way of telling if someone is a witch is to see if they weigh the same as a duck. Well, Nicholas, sometimes deconstruction can lead you in different directions. For me, I have not believed in God in 16 years. Well, we support you, Kathleen. Tolkien wasn't a theist, though? Oh, yeah, he definitely was. Jeff asked, do Christians really want to convert people or do they want validation? I don't think those are mutually exclusive. She turned me into a newt. Do I get called a witch more often? You know what, Dr. Joe, that's interesting. I almost never see those. You guys must get those really fast. It's not surprising, though, that like angry Christians would see a woman doing this content and call her a witch. I wonder if they call Justin a warlock. I don't know if he has ever been called that. I'm sure he's been called like Satan and demons and stuff. Witchy says, always take it as a compliment if someone calls you a witch. Fair enough. I'm happy to. Well, yeah. I mean, Justin does get a lot of really terrible things too. Holy says, so what do you do if 100 things go wrong in a day? Instead of pray, maybe scream? It's not the worst idea. I think I do like lean on people more. Good night, Seal. You know, um I've done a lot of therapy in my life, and that's been really helpful too. Like I absolutely had to learn strategies for like, okay, how do I manage this when I'm feeling totally overwhelmed? It's a process to learn that for sure. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think Holy Spirit, as far as leaning on people, you know, it's not very many people, but it's people that really know me and that I really love, you know? And so it feels really helpful and genuine. Well, listen, friends, it is my time to say goodnight. I have a little more work to do before I go to bed. So thank you for a lovely conversation. And again, please come find our podcast. We are on, it's the Evangelical Bible Study. We're on Spotify and Apple. So you can come find us. You can also come find me on TikTok. At Leaving Faith over there as well. I'm glad you did too, Kathleen. Oh, that's awesome, Average Joe. Nice. On Myth Vision. Cool. Okay. And Ruby says good night as well. All right. Have a good night, everybody.